Marillion.
Welcome back, my friends, to the In Obscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. My name is Kevin Williams, and I'm joined by the man eating his own sorbet, Mr. Robert Harrison.
Can't talk right now. Got a mouthful. Excuse me. Oh, God. That was so good.
So tell us about this concoction that you made, sir.
I got a wild hair the other night to make ice cream, but it's not really ice cream. It's kind of sorbet, but it's not really sorbet, so I'm calling it sort of bay. It's somewhere in there, but it's
nice.
Rum and strawberry and other things, and it's, oh, my God, it's so good. So I'm just going to have to finish this while we're listening to songs tonight.
Yeah, it sounds great. I think it might be melted by then.
Then it's a milkshake. See? So it always works out.
I see how you do.
I have to mainline it after that point.
So what's going on with you this week?
Oh, just trying to block out the sun. Once again, it's that time of year where we start recording and it's broad daylight. It's just weird. Normally we're starting, it's nice and dark and mysterious. But yeah, it's daytime, so vampires in the daytime don't work out real well.
Guess what we got?
What did we get? Spam?
Well, apparently what we got was a review.
What?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, was that in the microphone? I have to remember not to yell into the microphone.
What? Yes, we actually got a review.
From whom?
Well, it's from our friend Craig Elvin in Australia.
Jesus. Oh, God.
And apparently he wrote a review on iTunes in Australia.
They have that over there?
Yes.
Wow, they're more advanced than I thought they were.
It's from Spot from Sydney. So we know it's him. And I guess it doesn't show up on our iTunes because I guess they do iTunes by country.
That's crap. Well, they have like customs to get through.
Unless there's, he didn't pay.
He didn't pay. The to cavity search.
I don't know. Listen to this. I don't know. We did not pay him to write this, but this is what he says. This weekly show never disappoints. Whether it be finding a gem in the mine of obscure music from around the globe or discovering that co-host Robert Engelbert Harrison has set himself on fire again. The encyclopedic knowledge of Chung Thing to the awesomeness of the guest hosts from around the world, this show is the Dukes of Hazzard of podcast world, delivering action and laughs each and every Friday.
Just two good old boys. Never mean
y'all
no
stay
harm.
tuned. What was it? What did they say?
Y'all come back.
Y'all come back.
No, that's Beverly Hillbillies.
No,
y'all come
what
back.
Was it when they would like have the car going over and you go to commercial break?
It would say something different each time. All these Duke boys, I think they've done it this time.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to. I thought they had a catchphrase, but you're right. It was just whatever was going on.
Have we ever mentioned your nickname, Chung Thing?
No, I don't know that we have.
So to explain, that is Kevin's nickname from many eons ago.
Don't really know why.
Yeah.
I used to eat Chun King, which was a product of really bad
the
fried rice
the
noodles.
worst Asian food you can get.
It wasn't even Asian. It was American, but it was like fried rice noodles in a can.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Kind of like Pringles.
I remember trying that in college going, oh, that's really cheap. It's Chinese food.
Super cheap.
Opening up and going, whoa, this is not what I expected.
Yeah, I used to eat it sometimes just straight out of the can, and other times I would put tuna on it.
Get this casserole.
Yeah.
See, that's gourmet.
Exactly.
Gourmet stuff right there.
That's how we did it back in the day.
I came close to writing a redneck gourmet cookbook that would be things like that.
Oh, I think you
like
should.
All the college stuff, all the horrible things after college I ate. Continue to eat.
You ever eat deviled ham when you were a kid?
Oh, well, it's just generally potted meat. I mean, that is a general term that covers
that was a brand, right?
Roast beef. Yeah, there was deviled ham. There was the roast beef that was kind of that. There's Spam. Anything that came in a can but was meat. It's kind of potted meat, but yeah.
Potted meat.
That's camping food.
I tell you what. If you come see us in Nashville,
that's going to be
we are going to give you a prize of deviled ham.
Yes.
Potted, only the finest potted meat.
We'll sign it.
Signed potted
Signed
meat.
ham, yes.
That's what we're bringing.
Yep.
All the other podcasts, they'll have some stupid swag with their logo on it.
Oh, my God.
Nope.
We just knocked it out of the park.
Deviled ham.
Yes. Oh, my God. Genius, man.
And what are we talking about?
It's been a long time since we've rock and rolled. But that all changes this August as Rockin' Pod returns to Nashville. This annual convention brings together rock artists, fans, and podcasters for an unforgettable rock experience. Special guests this year include Billy Sheehan, Ron Keel, Don Jameson of That Metal Show, and current and former members of Winger, LA Guns, Accept, and more. Stage panels, signing sessions, and photo ops will be available, plus lots of vinyl and memorabilia vendors. Music podcasters from all over North America will be appearing on site for live interviews, speaking sessions, networking, and more. Got a music podcast? Register and join us. Rockin' Pod Weekend kicks off with a pre-party featuring former Tesla guitarist Tommy Skio and his new band Resist and Bite, making their debut performance, as well as a rare hair set featuring surprise guests performing all-time classics. Rockin' Pod Weekend takes place August 6th through the 8th in Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets, VIP passes, podcast registration, and discounted hotel rooms are available now at rocknpod.com. Rockin' Pod is brought to you by DBG Productions, Bradley Entertainment, and Inceptia.
All right, so after you go over there and you book your hotel and you buy your ticket to Rockin' Pod, go listen to Pod of Thunder, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, Podcast Rock City, Cobras and Fire, Rock Strikes 10, The Hustle, Metal Up Your Podcast, Dummy Room, History Science Theater, State of Amorica, Potter Than Hell, Podkist, The Kiss Room, I Love It Loudcast, Ages of Rock, The Synaptic Empire, and Monty's Rockcast.
And then come by and get some deviled ham.
And then go get some deviled ham. And then go over to inobscuria.com. Make sure you like us, share us, recommend us on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Potted meat, man. It's happening.
That's it. We're bringing it back ourselves. It's going to be so cool, like retro cool.
I hope we can find it.
Oh, I got sources. Don't worry about it.
I bet you do.
There's some convenience stores down the street in the seedy part of town here. We can.
Oh, only the finest.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's regional potted meat.
Like gourmet?
Yeah, no, like
small
it tastes,
batch?
Like it, yeah, like
artisanal potted meat?
like a brewery. Like a home brewery. Is there are there potted meat aficionados out there who
That's
are
a great
looking
question,
for
because there is for everything else you can think of.
Right.
There's experts. There's people that go, are you eating that potted meat?
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Are there guys out there who have shelves full of different potted meat from around the world and can tell you about all of them?
Like I said, with all the different hobbies you could have, there's somebody out there.
I want to talk to that guy.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, I'm Googling the hell out of that. Potted meat pages on Facebook. Is there like social groups?
Potted meat aficionados.
Yeah. Or magazine. Used to do magazines. See, there would be a magazine on potted meat.
Potted Meat Monthly.
I still got to finish this ice cream. But I'm thinking of potted meat now. So, anyway.
Go get yourself some deviled ham.
The devil's food.
The Underwood Devil. Wasn't that it?
Something like that. Yeah. Now
and he would dance around with a little pitchfork.
Yeah. Let's bring back all those bad memories.
My mom used to, no joke, back in the 70s, my mom used to spread the potted meat on one side of the bread and mayonnaise. On the other. Put it together, and there you go, Kevin.
Because it needs something. It needs just something else, and mayonnaise was that thing.
I loved it. Oh, I absolutely loved it.
I'm not going to be shy about that. Normally, I wouldn't admit that in public, but hell yeah.
Now that I'm older, I'm not sure I would put that shit in my mouth.
It's salty as, oh my God, salty. But when you're 8 years old, it's delicious. Or like I said, that was camping and fishing food. My father and I would eat the most horrible things.
Sardines.
Yeah, sardines and yoo-hoo and whatever else we'd grab at the bait store on the way to go fishing in rural Florida. But as long as you're fishing, it was okay.
Right.
You didn't think anything about it, but you would never eat that sitting in your own kitchen. So yeah, this has now opened up a very bizarre conversation. So,
do you think Alpo actually made potted meat and they just relabeled it?
It was probably just the other end of the factory.
Dog food. I think it was just dog food.
It was whatever fell on the floor. That was dog food.
Maybe. Oh man. Well, guess what I did last Friday? I had the day off of work.
Oh.
I wanted to get back to our roots. So
Kevin ran amok.
I conducted a midday seance. Haven't done that in a long time.
Once again, it's hard to do that evil stuff in the broad daylight. It's just not.
Well, and my results varied. So I said, spirits of the nether regions, give me the subject for this week's terrorizing show. And I got the Ouija board out, and I was shaking all over the place and going really, well, not too fast, really kind of slow. And it spelled out Gone, gone,
wow. Thank you.
Fishing.
What?
Like even in
We're
the
just
nether...
talking about that.
I know. And even in the netherworld.
In the nether regions.
In the nether regions. He took a break midday and went fishing, apparently. Fishing.
Was he fishing for souls?
Must have been.
Yeah.
One of demons.
Fisher of souls.
Some demon. Anyway, I still got the subject from it, so thank you. I don't know that was your intent, but we've gone fishing before, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yes, a few episodes ago back, we talked about a band that had a singer in it named Fish. That must be the theme. Yes, this is it. The fourth and final in our series about the English neo-prog band that emerged in 1979. Episode 79, Grave Mistake, Marillion, Shoulda Been Huge. The years 2000 through 2009. All right?
I like it. This is
the
payoff.
One you've been waiting for.
You saved the best to last, I think.
Yeah, this is the period I think that you're probably going to like the most. And it was kind of an interesting period for them. So if you want a whole bunch of history about this band, we have covered them 3 other times. So I don't know that I'm going to go too deep. But if you go all the way back to episode 73, we covered the decade of 1990 to 1999. Episode 75, we covered the decade of 1980 to 1989. And then
77.
Episode 77, yes.
Look at the brains on Brad.
Very good. We covered the years 2011, or actually, 2011 to 2019.
2010.
Or 2020. Yeah, we covered it 2020.
Is that this year? No, it's last year. Where are we, 21?
Yes, we are in 21.
Wow.
We covered it 2020. So.
Since when? All year?
All year.
Has it been that way all year?
Yeah, we've been there all year.
Wow.
But I'll just give you a quick. So they originally had a singer named Fish in the 80s, and most people in America, at least, that's the version of the band they know. But they got a new singer in 1989 named Steve Hogarth, and they basically continued down their Rush meets Pink Floyd kind of movement. I don't know, but doing their own thing. Yeah, but down their own way. But that's sort of what it reminds us of. And they've been hitting it ever since '89 with Hogarth, and they're in the studio right now working on album number 20. They've sold 15 million albums worldwide. So why are we covering them?
They've made like $500 off of that.
And in the States, they probably made $500. Yeah, so people just don't really know of Marillion. Or if they do, they know only a little bit of them. And they have a very rich history. Enough so that we've covered it now on the 4th and final episode here. And we're going to start, in the year 2000.
The millennial.
This is the millennial.
Millennium or old? People are millennials.
People are millennials.
That was the millennium.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Y2K, when everything went to hell, when the whole world exploded.
And there are people listening that weren't born then.
You're probably
Isn't that wild?
Wow, that is crazy. World. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm eating rum ice cream.
Yeah. So in episode 73, when we covered the 90s, we mentioned that the band had a trilogy of albums called the Castle Trilogy. So they left their record label, which was EMI, I believe, and they went and did basically went to an independent label, and it was Castle. And they had this trilogy of albums near the end of the 90s and had those albums are just kind of weird, but they're cool, but they're just kind of weird. And after that, they decided, you know what, we're not going to do anything with an independent again, because I didn't even know about those albums back then because they didn't have distribution. They didn't have good distribution.
No.
Let's just say that. So I couldn't find them, didn't even know they were out. And I discovered those later. So in 2000 is where I came back into knowing that Marillion was still around just by stumbling on this album. And so basically what they did was they said, we're tired of working with majors. We're tired of working with the independents. We're going to go out completely on our own. We're going to be an independent artist. And they also split with their manager at the same time. And so without any backing, any funding, any advances, they did something that was radical for the time, which was to ask their fans via their website and their email list to pre-order the album prior to them even going into the recording studio so that it could fund the recording, the production, and the distribution. Crowdfunding, right?
Yeah, early.
They created it. It wasn't a thing until Marillion did it. They were the first musical group to do this, where this was truly funding the entire project.
And they had a great response to that request?
Yeah, so over 12,000 pre-orders, raised enough money to record and do everything that they needed to do, and they released in 2000 the album Anoraknophobia. Anoraknophobia. Okay, so you should probably look up the album cover because it'll sort of make sense.
Okay.
But the Marillion fans are known as, they call themselves anoraks, which basically is a rain jacket. I don't know why, but that's what it is.
Looks like perverts.
I don't know. Maybe they're all perverts. So it's Anoraknophobia.
Okay.
So
Anoraknophobia.
Yeah, in the cover they have a little.
I like that.
Think of
like
the year
no
2000. You had South Park was a big thing, and Kenny, remember wearing his little parka, his little anorak. So
Jackass.
They have like a little Kenny looking dude
Oh,
on
with the
their
coat
cover.
pulled over his
with the,
face.
yeah, with the anorak on. Oh my God, you killed Kenny!
You bastards!
Yeah, exactly. So this is where I get back on board because this album got funded and came out, and they actually had a retail version of it as well. I didn't do the pre-order because I didn't know about that, but I did see it. And for Marillion, this is where they start to take what they were doing in the 90s, which was kind of that Floydy, rushy thing, that whole vibe, and they go a little bit crazier. So they add a little groove, a little funk, a little blues, jazz. They just throw everything in the kitchen sink into this album, and it comes off really well. And it marked, a new beginning for them, not necessarily pop, but almost bringing in some kind of indie edge to their progressiveness, which lended itself well for the time. It was kind of different and not unlike some other English music that was coming up around that time. Think Radiohead,
That's right, they are English,
Coldplay, all those groups that were starting to get famous around that time as well. So the album, because they released it independently, it was ineligible to chart in the UK.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah. So even though it sold well, they couldn't really count it. So I guess at the UK at the time, you couldn't count an independent release that was done through your website. It had to be through a label in order to be counted.
What a racket.
I know, right? It's just silly. And then the retail version, so they did offer it retail, but it came with a sticker, and that couldn't be counted because that was construed as enticement to buy the album. So they couldn't count it.
Like, it wasn't on the label, but it was a free sticker that was included in the packaging.
Included with it.
Seriously.
Yeah, so they didn't get to chart because of that. I'm sure those silly rules are not there anymore, but how silly is that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but oh well. So let's listen to a little Anoraknophobia. I actually love this album more now than when I originally bought it. It has aged incredibly well for me, so we'll see what you think. I'm going to play a number that has a little bit of that groove to it that we maybe haven't heard from this band before.
Okay.
And this is a number called Quartz.
To be
You know what that song goes perfect with?
What's that?
Big bowl of strawberry rum ice cream. Because it was just long enough for me to finish that entire bowl. Now I got brain freeze.
Now you're feeling good.
Feeling good. No, that bass line at the beginning, how badass was that?
Oh, it's amazing. I will almost say that this is, if not their best, one of their best written songs that they have recorded to date.
That's the first time I've heard this, but still,
I know that's a strong statement.
I know, but I'm in love with that song. That's awesome. But the funny thing is, they've got so many just like this, where most bands hope to write that one epic song. These guys just pump them out time after time after time.
Of course, start the episode with us playing a 9-minute song.
Yeah, that's okay. I needed some time to enjoy that.
But that song has
put you in the mood.
Every bit of the stuff that they do and some new things we hadn't heard before.
And kind of the spoken word part in the middle. You're only happy with, you know what the funny thing is, what that reminded me of? Your former bandmate, Elizabeth. She would kind of do some like screamy song stuff. It's, in the middle of her song.
Throw that in the middle.
Yeah, she would throw that in the middle. And I can't think of the lyrics specifically, but there was a couple of songs like that, and she would throw that in there. So that's what I thought of immediately was The Swear, which Kevin's other band. So anyway, they
I'll
had
take
lots
that.
of high compliment on that. Right. But I mean, how grooving it started off with, and not just built within 30 seconds. It took 2-3 minutes to build the length of most songs,
like a true R&B song.
Yeah,
it basically was that laying down that one bass line, and it worked because they just layered on top of it, layered on top of it. But for like 2.5 minutes, that's what you're getting is that groove.
And they brought it back in later on. The bass had some effects on it, so it was a little heavier. But the same bass line to kind of. I think a song like that had 2 different bridges in it. How many verses? You can't even count.
3.
Maybe 3. I lost track. So like I said, they're so comfortable doing that. They just do their own thing. I've got mad respect for that. They just write the songs how they want them to be, and how much fun that must have been to just jam. They jammed on that bass line for probably an hour and a half, and then went, I guess we should write a song.
Let's lay that down.
Yeah. Oh, we got it now.
I said earlier that came out in 2000. Actually, came out in 2001. So sorry about that.
You're fired.
I was looking at the year 2000, but that dropped in 2001. Yeah. Moving on to 2004. So 2001 and 2004, they do a lot of touring. There's a great documentary about them making that album, as well as this next album that I think you can buy through their website. They have Racket Records they own, and they sell all sorts of incredible releases that you can't get retail. So if you're interested in this band, go check out Marillion.com. Hop over to Racket Room and check it out. It's really cool. Yeah, so in 2004... album number 13. This is the first one that I could jump into crowdfunding. And so I saw it online. Hey, do you want to get in? If you order by such and such date, you will get your name printed in the album. That's kind of cool. Being a Marillion album, that's all right. I'm going to get it anyway. Why not? Just go ahead and pony up the money now.
So it's kind of signed by you.
Yeah, exactly. But they took a little bit of a different approach because they did so well with the last album that they didn't need to fund the whole thing. All they wanted to fund this time around was, hey, we're an independent band. We're going to record. We're going to release it. What we really need for funding is promotion. Marketing and promotion of getting the word out that this album's out there, because they don't have a label to do that. So they got 18,000 pre-orders for a marketing and publicity campaign. And if you pre-ordered, what you got was a double album. The retail version was just going to be a single album. So you would actually get extra songs that you wouldn't get on the other version. Now, of course, years later, they would release it.
Of course,
the whole thing.
You knew they would.
So here's what we got.
Ooh.
So the album we are talking about, and I just handed my copy over to Robert so he can check out, because what they did is everything they do with these pre-orders, it is so nicely done. There's a booklet. Usually it's just tons of art and really just printed images and pictures and
it's an entire book of art. And,
it's really cool
stuff. I definitely need my glasses, though.
And that's the double version. So the album is called Marbles. And again, it came out in 2004. And we actually played a song from this album. This was
Marbles,
the song that Robert played way back in episode 71, actually not that long ago. But that's what kicked this whole Marillion thing off, is we played that song.
All
12 minutes of it, called Neverland, which is the last song on the album.
God, damn.
And so this is the one you love.
Yes.
This is the album, Marbles.
Let's play it again.
And again... I almost thought about it, actually. I thought about playing your song.
Just in case you missed it.
We're going to do something different. But this album, again, did not chart in the UK because it was packaged with a couple of stickers. And it's against the rules. So even though they could have gotten into the top 30, it was declared ineligible for the album chart.
I'm sure at this point in their life, they're like, you know what, screw y'all.
They did have some hit singles, though, because they could get hit singles. So they actually got a number 7 UK single, and that was the first one since 1987 when Fish was in the band. Incommunicado was their last single at that point in time to be at that level. So they had a follow-up single, Don't Hurt Yourself, that went to number 16, and this album is held as one of their finest. So the one you picked that you really love is the one that a lot of people really love who still follow this band and are, just Marillion fans. So even Classic Rock magazine ranked this number 11 in their year-end list for 2004. So
nice.
It's pretty high for a prog band and a Classic Rock mag. Yeah, so we've already played your song that you love off this album. Real Floydy, kind of longer, but very Floydish. Floydy. I don't know what's the right word there.
Floydian.
Floydian. Yes, there we go. But while there's a lot of songs like that, a lot of these really long traditional Marillion prog masterpieces, there's also a bunch of shorter, like atmospheric songs. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's a whole bunch of songs on there that say marbles 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all just these little interludes stringing the songs together so that it almost can be played as a single song the entire 2 albums. It's really cool.
The longest song ever.
It's super cool. They also have a few rockers on here, and I'm actually going to play one of those songs that's a little bit shorter and a little bit more rocking for this album, but I still think you're going to dig it. This is called Drilling Holes from Marbles 2004.
Slept through the morning.
Look, Mommy, there's an airplane up in the sky. Very Floydian. So that was a very different vibe. The first one that got me going. I mean, I was like, yeah, just a good funk line like that. This was the other way, not in a depressing way, but man, just chill out and kind of just relax and just let it all go.
It's a weird song because it starts off really rocking. It's got these really rocking kind of heavy parts with a lot of really low bass and the keyboards, I think, coming through. And then you get this almost like, now we're going to pretend we're XTC and do a little Beatles and a little Pink Floyd.
And with some Floyd. The Wall specifically. But I guess that's why. I mean, the first one, it starts off slow and builds you up. By the end of the song, you're like, yeah. But then,
this is the opposite.
The good bookends.
Yeah, totally.
Bring you up, bring you down.
Love the album. If you're at all interested in this band, that's a good place to start for the H years.
I am looking forward to a sit down and listening to this straight through because I don't think I've done that. I'm pretty sure I have it on my
I think you have
iTunes.
the whole thing, yeah.
So there's need to be scheduled some time this weekend probably.
All right. Well, just like the 90s, they do 2 albums that are just brilliant back to back, and then they take a little more time off, and then they end the decade with just a sequence of year after year after year album releases, which again gives us a little bit of another kind of odd trilogy. So in 2007, they decided not to do any crowdfunding at all after that had worked so well previously, but they just released it on their own independent label. They got the financing done themselves and put it out. And I don't know if they did it for this reason, but because they didn't do it via the website and because they didn't, I guess, put a lot of packaging trinkets and things with the release, it went to number 24 on the UK albums chart. So they got this one through. And it was the first to enter the top 40 since Radiation in 1998. So almost a decade ago since they had been in the UK charts. So pretty cool. Now, their first single on this album, just for whatever reason, the lyrics, it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. The song is called
Kevin's an Asshole.
Yes.
Is that why?
Exactly. How did you know?
Kevin's a dick.
No, it's called See It Like a Baby. And he says that over and over and over in the chorus, and it just sounds borderline dumb to me.
Yeah.
See it like a baby.
I guess you don't have any preconceived notions as a baby because you have to go through life to get those
I get what he's going, but it just sounds dumb for some reason to my ears.
It doesn't flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it made it to number 45 on the UK singles chart. And then they had another single after that went to number 15, which was a third top 20 hit in the UK in the 2000s, which was a pretty big deal. And again, it was their another highest charting single since 1987. So they're really coming back. They're not just a legacy act. You know, this is a band continuing on to make new music. And this is not a fan favorite album. And in fact, when I bought it in 2007, I was buying most things digitally. So I bought it on iTunes. And I thought it was good. It's a little more in the pop world of 2007 than maybe people would have thought. So maybe it was a little too close to Radiohead and Coldplay kind of stuff that was going on at that time. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe they wanted to get a hit and they got a few. So I guess it worked. But while it's not a fan favorite, it's still a pretty brilliant album. And the album is called Somewhere Else. And I'm going to play a song called The Wound from 2007.
I've done everything that can be done to heal this wound. I left it on its own for years. just didn't stop her growing. Newborn baby cells divided. Curled up tight, unrolling day by day. Stretching out, forming the same identical too much relentlessly emerging from the hairy heart of a and the fun is beautiful in its own way. Uncurling in the dark. Beautiful when no one there to see it. It's the world waits in
All right, so it's easy to make the Radiohead and a little bit of a Coldplay reference, especially that song. He was singing a little bit of a like falsetto voice at the end, so very similar. But they were around 25 years before Radiohead.
And they just schooled them.
Yeah.
I mean, the song structure alone, it's like, okay, we're a poppy rock song starting off, and then all of a sudden you slam into the middle of this thing, and then it's just a gradual decline.
Yeah, it took me about 3 minutes to get into that song. It really did. I wasn't really digging it the first few minutes, and then it just, maybe it's just because the songs are longer, and that's what I need. Who knows how many songs that are 4 minutes long that I just write off because didn't have time to get into it. But that goes for a lot of Radiohead songs. I'm not a huge Radiohead fan, but just like Neil Young. I'm like, yeah, respect them. They're good. There's 2 or 3 songs that I like. Mm-hmm. Fake Plastic Tree, all the hits, sue me. Yeah. I know it makes Radiohead fans vomit when I say things like that. But yeah, all the radio hits I like. And the ones they don't play in concert, I like those. But put this up against Radiohead songs, I get bored with a lot of Radiohead songs. So it's just kind of monotonous. This took
totally
you more of a
with
journey.
you.
This was a journey.
I'm actually wondering how much Radiohead, the guys in the band, are fans of Marillion. Yeah, they have to be.
Like if you get them Truth Serum, I'm like, no, seriously, man.
Yeah, they had to be fans of this band.
Were you listening to this?
But I think here you have Marillion showing Radiohead and some of those other British bands that were at this time were kind of making a comeback with some pretty big albums. I think they just kind of schooled them.
When did Coldplay kind of hit the scene? Early 2000s?
I think it was early 2000s, and I believe they sustained that all the way until like 2011, 2012.
2011, they had was it Paradise? Big radio
whatever
hit.
the big hits were. Yeah, I mean they were just gradual though.
Yeah, I mean, I remember because it was synonymous with me going to Burning Man. And I remember listening to that on the way out there, and so it's forever ingrained in my mind that year. So that's why I remember that. It was one of their last big hits. They had some other releases after that, but I don't remember anything after that.
And then even Radiohead, they had, in the early 2000s, they had totally changed and gone to this kind of keyboard-driven techno kind of area.
Yeah.
Kid A.
It wasn't as guitar-centric.
Yeah, and I, to be honest, people were talking about how great those albums were, and I got them. I'm like, I don't get it.
No.
Because I like their first 3 albums a whole lot better.
Well, you and I thrive when there's a guitar involved.
Exactly right.
When you take that out of it.
I like electronic stuff too, but
but not as much.
Their electronic stuff doesn't grab me the way maybe somebody who actually just does that and that alone.
Well, they don't fill the void where the guitar left. So with electronica, you fill that void, it's fine. But you just take the guitar out of it. For me, it just leaves something out.
And speaking of that, going back to Marillion, something we haven't really mentioned in any of these episodes, and shame on me for not doing it, but Mark Kelly's keyboard playing, he always adds, to me at least, he always has the right sounds for the song.
Yeah. And there was a Hammond in there.
There's so many keyboardists who like throw in these weird sounds because they found some weird sound on their keyboard.
Well, the New Wave episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember what song it was. They threw in every freaking
Jethro Tull,
every sound effect in the catalog.
Right, but he did some cheesy stuff in the '80s, but that was the '80s. Everybody was doing that. But ever since then, he really he layers in all of these sounds at just the right time and just the right place. Just such a good keyboard player. I'm surprised that people don't talk about him more. But he is kind of that guy in the back, kind of making all the atmosphere and making everything cool.
He's not drawing attention to himself, but he's setting the foundation for everybody else.
Exactly.
That's a good musician.
That is, and that's kind of the way this band is. I mean, all of them are all just prolific players and could school, I'm sure, any shredder out there if they really wanted to. But they kind of play for the song.
They're not
flashy when they want to
driven. And you could stand in line in the grocery store next to them and not recognize them because they're just not about the flash. It's about the music, the content.
Yep, totally. All right, so now that came out in 2007. Like I said, we're just going to get sequential albums here to close out the decade. So in 2008, they get ambitious again, and they go in to record an album called Happiness is the Road, which that sounds like a really good name for a live album, but it's not. But they go in to record this album, and originally they track everything, and then as they get done with the album, they start writing new songs, and the direction of the new songs is a little bit softer, gentler. And so they just go on this, because they're recording at Racket Room, which is their Racket Records, where they own it, so they can just plug as much studio time as they want, I assume. And so they just end up recording an entire other album
right after that.
Yeah, so what they do is they release Happiness is the Road as a Volume 1 and a Volume 2. Happiness is the Road Volume 1 is called Essence. Happiness is the Road Volume 2 is called The Hard Shoulder. Now, Volume 2 is actually the album they recorded first. It's the harder one. But for some reason, they made the softer, newer stuff Volume 1. Who knows why? I don't know why. But this is another one that they put out there for folks to go and pre-order. And I pre-ordered this 116-minute double album. And here, I'll just show you.
Does it have your name on it?
So my name's in there somewhere. Probably very, very tiny.
Double this time.
Yes, it's double, so you get both. So Robert's looking through the booklet. So again, they just knock you out with these amazing deluxe editions if you did the pre-orders. Just the nicest binding and visuals.
Those
and
words?
Art. And those are words. Those are the names. Yeah, you can't even see those.
No, I can't. Well, it's dark.
Yeah, old man eyes.
It's dark.
I can't read them either.
But the pictures are pretty.
This album, though, for whatever reason, so I ordered it, and I'm all into Marillion. They're one of my bands, and when I get the album in, I kind of
Oh no!
I kind of just sort of half-ass listen to it. Like,
why?
I don't know. So at the time, I just didn't give it. I just thought, this is not so great for them, and I kind of put it away and shelved it. And so I've only just come back to it as I was prepping for this episode. I'm like, oh god, I got to play something from Happiness is the Road, and I put it on, and I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea because
what brand of crack were you smoking back
I don't
then?
know. It was 2008. I don't.
It was the good stuff back then.
Not sure, but it was pre-kids, so who knows what was going on. I was
Children
playing,
have honed your brain.
I was gigging a lot then, so maybe my
Sure.
ears were just spent.
There was a lot of things going on back then.
So anyway, I put this on and I see a little bit of where I was going. It's very mellow, like overly mellow at times in the volume 1. And maybe that's what I couldn't get through. There's a lot of falsetto. So if you're not a fan of falsetto singing, he must have just been on a falsetto kick.
And once again, that's the Radiohead reference for me.
Maybe it is.
The
Maybe that's what he was going
non-singing
for.
singing, it gets old.
Little head singing.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, you probably soft into the mic and you can get some of those notes maybe you couldn't hit if you were full voice. But
now that I'm a man, I can't hit those notes anymore,
That's right. I can only hit Barry White, baby.
Really low.
But anyway, so if you're not into that, maybe you're not going to like Volume 1 as much. But Volume 2 is damn good. I mean, they could have released this as a single album, but I'm glad they did what they did because we got a lot more music. So let me play I guess it's considered the, what do you call it? The hidden track on Volume 1. There's a hidden track because that was a thing as well, even in the 2000s. So Volume 1, while that's the mellow side, if you will, of this double album, they have a hidden track called... Well, on the album, it's called Half Empty Jam. And then I saw something that said that they changed the name later to Half Full Jam.
Half grape jam.
I don't know.
Sugar-free jam.
I don't know. But it's a jam, so it's kind of better than the rest of the stuff on Volume 1, in my opinion. But here's Half Empty Jam.
I used to be half empty, but now I'm half full. I used to be half empty, but now I'm half full. I used to be half empty, but now I'm half full. I'm half full, I'm half full, I'm half full. I used to be half empty, but now I'm half full. I'm half full, I'm half full. You woke me up. I woke up in a city that doesn't sleep. I woke up in a city by the sea. I woke up in a city full of rain. I'm not alone. You woke me up again. I woke up in a village full of stone. I woke up, someone had taken everything I own. They stole her tongue and didn't care. But all I really needed was someone to say that.
It does make it a little bit easier to write 10-minute long songs when you can get away with repeating the same lyrics over and over.
It's a jam.
It was
totally jam,
yeah.
And it was a hidden track, and probably never intended to be played on a podcast. But you know what?
But I
don't care.
don't care. But the keyboards were really accentuated in that one. They kind of took over, and it was nice to hear that.
Oh, I was going to give a little to Mr. Ian Mosley on the drums.
Oh, yeah.
My God, he's killing it.
Yeah,
he's
he's
killing
behind
it
there,
on
just
that.
bringing the jams.
So, continuing on with that album, they did have a single, and they actually asked the fans to make a video for this single, and the best video that was on YouTube, the band was going to award £5,000, which is...
That's a lot of meat.
It's pretty good. It was
like,
pretty cool.
It's like $800, I think.
I think it's a bit more than
is
that.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I think...
My math was backwards.
Yeah, I think the British sterling, it was a little stronger even then. So anyway, I'm going to play that single because it of course, doesn't really sound like a single, and it's on the volume 2, so it's on what they call the hard shoulder.
You have to put air quotes when you say single, when you're referring to... It
was released in 2008. Yes, it's Marillion, and it's released in 2008, so it's their attempt at a single, and it did okay. The song's called Whatever Is Wrong With You.
We need to talk about the way you've been behaving. We need to talk about the Christmas lights in your clothes. We need to talk about the stranger in the kitchen. We need to talk.
bass player's name again?
Pete Truavis. Truavis.
I'll have to practice that. Anyway, he's an amazing bass player, but to have him just kind of step back and just play eighth notes. Good old-fashioned 1980s
kind of
hair band.
80s style.
Yeah, eighth notes. It's like Les Claypool walking in. They're like, "Can you just play some eighth notes?" And he's looking at him like, "Do you know who I am?"
I just need you to lay on the root.
Yeah, just lay on the root. No, eighth notes. Okay. But anyway, yeah, just once again, it shows talent when you can lay back. You can show off and show your talent, but you show even more when you can just sit in that groove like that. So that was amazing.
Can you believe we got a 4-minute, 14-second song from Marillion?
I know. I was
crazy.
Barely could even sit down. I'd stand right back up again.
I think it's a great single. It actually played in the UK. Obviously, we never heard it here, but
that was radio friendly. A lot of their songs just go on.
It's a great pop song written by them, so I dig it.
On adult contemporary top 40 in England.
No, it's got enough. It's got enough grit to it. It's got some good distorted guitars in there. It's got your weirdness too. I don't know if you noticed the lyrics, but I actually love those lyrics because it's basically just embrace the weird.
Yeah, whatever's wrong with you.
Whatever's wrong with you, I love it. Basically.
That's what I'm looking for in a wife.
Exactly. So kind of like when we talked about the last decade, in 2019, they ended off on a reimagining of their songs with a symphony. In 2009 is kind of when they started that trend, and they ended the century with
a bluegrass band.
A bluegrass version of... No. They ended with...
I was about to go, what?
No, they ended with an acoustic album.
Oh,
so
okay.
they reimagined their songs, truly stripped down in the studio. This isn't a live album. This is truly them stripping down and only allowing certain instruments to be played. Mm-hmm. So no synthesizers, no electronic instruments of any kind. Even the bass is... it might be plugged in, but it's
still a bass.
An acoustic bass. So they did these interpretations. It's called Less is More. Great title for that. And I think we should end. This is the last song I'm going to play, and I think it's a fitting song to end on. It was actually a song from the very first album we played, which was Anoraknophobia. And it's just a great song called This is the 21st Century. So we're going to end with that one. And I guess one thing I'll say about Less is More is it's grown on me as well. It's a really good acoustic interpretation of the songs. It is not them doing the song straightforward, just them playing on acoustic guitar. They truly did reinterpret certain parts because they had to because of all the instruments
you don't have
use.
The ethereal keys.
Yeah. And so, again, this came out in 2009, and they actually had a ton of releases on their own record label in 2009. They had a bunch of live stuff. So there's some great things out there that came out in 2009 as well. There is a release called Recital of the Script from 1983, which is a live album with Fish. They also did a live DVD called Live from Lorelei, which I have. It's from 87. It's from a huge outdoor show that they did in 87 with Fish. It's really, really cool. Something we could show on the wall outside.
Oh, yes. We got to get on that.
Yeah, we do. And then they had a box set that came out with all the Fish era stuff. So it was early stages, 82 to 87. So again, if you're interested, go check out. Those are some great releases that came out the same year that this album came out, 2009.
Wise man once said, a flower is only a sexual organ. Beauty is cruelty and evolution. A wise man once said that everything could be explained with mathematics. Yet tonight his feminine side. Now where is the wisdom in that? I came just as fast as I could through the dirty air of your neighborhood. Your name on a A wise man once wrote that love is only primal instinct for reproduction, natural selection. A wise man once said that everything could be explained, and it's all in the brain. This is the 21st century. I heard everything you said. The universe demystified, astronomy instead. This is the 21st century. Can't you get it through your head? This ain't the way it was meant to be. Magic isn't dead. Come to rest. Come to rest. Rest your heavy head, my love. And slowly from above she shows the answer, something that can't be written down. This is the 21st century. It's flash to crash and burn, but nobody's gonna give you anything for nothing in return. There's a man up in a mirrored building, and he just brought the world what you want. Your own kids growing up to what's left of this. She shook her head. She said, can't you see? The world is you. The world is me.
Damn, just the way they do that, it does not come off as a band that's doing an acoustic album. There's so much to it. They can add so many layers and so much really good sound that it doesn't sound like a stripped down version.
And it was, and those were all acoustic
Yeah.
instruments that they did all the layering with, which
But
you
there's-
don't hear that
No,
in
no,
any
no,
of
no.
these acoustic albums that come out. It's
No.
usually just strip back,
Yeah.
and it's real kind
Sounds
of
like they did it in one take.
Yeah.
Where they put some thought into this. This was arranged specifically, like you said, for...
layering with acoustic instruments. You don't really hear that.
No, it just shows how deeply talented these guys are.
And such a great song to end this whole series on. This is the 21st century. I love that song. I don't know what you thought of it, but
I love it.
it's
And
just
once again, that's another one that
amazing, too.
I would sit and listen to that. That's a Sunday afternoon, hanging out on the porch, just, having a beer. Just, that's what I have to have for those kind of moments. It's too stripped down for a lot of acoustic stuff that I've listened to many times over. I mean, and the other thing is most acoustic stuff we listen to is live, but thanks to Unplugged,
Yeah.
the popularity of that back in the 90s through whenever it stopped being cool.
almost through today. There's still groups that do it.
Yeah, and I mean, you had Tesla's 5-man acoustical jam, and it was live, so it's fun to hang out in this background noise, but to truly listen to it and really sit back and enjoy that without the guys in the background going woo.
Yeah, they recorded an album. They just happened to do it acoustically, and just like the one that we listened to that was the orchestra, they had a string quartet in the studio, but they still stuck to just those instruments added with them. But yeah, man, I hope I don't know what folks are thinking. Are we going way too far into Marillion? But I just felt like this was a band that I wanted to cover. And
Well, I mean, to be honest, when you say things like that, I'm like, I don't care. Whatever.
I don't either.
We do this for us, and if somebody wants to listen to us do this for us, that's fine.
Yeah,
They're welcome to listen to us do this for us.
But we've taken up most of the 70s of our episodes with Marillion, and
It's okay.
I've enjoyed it.
It's okay.
I've enjoyed the journey, and I hope everybody did, and I hope people like the way that we went through it. If you knew of them,
And you reignited love of the band, but you really broadened that out to other decades that I have listened to now, and I really like that or like this. I mean, this is still my favorite decade for this band.
Yeah.
There's the one before that was really good too. The Fish stuff is kind of hit and miss for me. I like some of it, but not broadly. But now this is on my radar to go back and listen to this deeply again. Now, because one of the rare times that I have some of the music that you actually play. Most of the time,
because I gave it to you.
Yeah, you gave it to me. Yeah, but you were so far ahead of your time. You gave this to me 15 years ago.
it was show prep. Damn it, and you still didn't listen to all of it.
I had 15 years to do my homework. Still didn't get it done.
Talk about procrastinating, Harrison.
I will stop procrastinating really soon. Really soon, I promise.
Well, that's what I got for you, man. Anything other that you want to say about Marillion? Or I don't know if you've heard from any or talked to any folks who've been listening to this going, what the hell are you guys doing? I've gotten some positive feedback from people some people that are into this band, but other people are just saying, I'd never heard of them before, and it's kind of cool.
I mean, there's going to be a small minority that doesn't like it, but at the same time, if you're into music, this band, I don't see how you could hate them. It might not be a love affair, but you would say, yeah, that's really good music.
Especially if you're a musician.
Yeah,
you could
truly,
totally
yeah.
see that this band's like, whoa, these guys have something.
This is going to be one of those bands that it's a musician's band.
Yeah.
But it appeals to more than that, but you should, if you're a musician, you should be into this.
Agreed. All right, well, until next time. And there will be no more Marillion episodes until we get through this decade.
Yeah,
so we got to get, if we can do one, we'll do it in 2029.
Yeah.
Okay, pencil that. Go ahead and put that
Positive
on
thinking.
your
I like that. No more pandemics, no nuclear war. Nuclear. George Bush, damn it. Ruined me on that.
All right. With that, we're out.
See ya.
Later.